Hey, what is going on, guys? My name, of course, is The Lipstick, and welcome to Bullied Stories. If you don't know what the series is, it's basically when we take a viewer-submitted story of a time when a kid was bullied or put through a tough time, and I put it up for you guys to see, and there will always be a link to the original message in the description box below. And this story comes from a kid named Matt, and Matt has been through 8 years of pretty much like the worst things that you can think of. He lost his friends. His parents got divorced multiple times. He's had to move towns multiple times too, and I'm guessing switch schools. And so he's got to make new friends and just leave his old friends behind. He even talks about cutting himself in this video. So it does get pretty deep in this story. So let's get right into it. This is Matt. And basically started when Matt was in first grade. He said he didn't really have too many friends. And it's okay. It's first grade. Kids' brains really aren't developed that much. So it's not like they really know what they're talking about when they're saying anything about you. So it's okay, first grade. He said third grade, it still started happening. Didn't really have too many friends. And, kids would still being mean to him. And then it eventually started to get a little worse. He used to feel anxiety and social problems because of all these people at such a young age just being mean to him and bullying him, and those are effects that'll last him a lifetime. So if you bully a kid when he's at that age, you're going to start to have effects that affect him in his adulthood, and for Matt that looks like it's starting to happen. Matt then goes to talk about how he's addicted to video games when he was a kid, and come on, we're all addicted to video games. I mean, I was addicted to Crash Bandicoot when I was a kid, and his parents used to get mad at him for this. And it wasn't really good because his parents, he later says in the message that his parents got divorced, and his dad would he says in the message that his dad would beat him and his brother, and that's never a good thing, especially something as little as playing video games too much and your dad beats you. Something's wrong there. And he does say, though, he lives with his mom the majority of the time. And in the 5th grade, he said he made a friend across the street, and this is always good to have a friend through this. And then the day when he switched schools, he said he got into a group of people who aren't the best crowd. They're the kind of quote popular kids at schools. We all have those in our grade. And they used to play, I guess you could call them pranks. And they said they set it up where he knew that they knew that he liked this girl, and so I don't know how they managed to do it, but they tried to make it seem like he raped her or in some way wanted to, and then parents got involved, and it just got all out of hand. And I don't know how you do that when you're in the 5th and 6th grade. He said he didn't even know what rape was at the time, and they're trying to accuse him of doing it at that age. It's just ridiculous, and these kids are idiots. And then he goes on to say that once he got into middle school, the bullying got even worse. Kids used to push him over and just throw their lunch on him, and he would go home and just be depressed in his room by himself, and his dad would come up, or his dad would beat his brother and him up. And then his mom and his dad tried to get back together at Thanksgiving. He says it was on Thanksgiving, of course, the day you're supposed to be celebrating, being with your family, ironic as hell. He says his dad called the police because he didn't want his mother to be with him anymore. He didn't want him to be living in the same house with him because their mom ran out of money and had to live with their dad again, or I guess had to live with Matt's dad again. And he didn't want that, so they kicked him out, and they had to go live at his uncle's house in the basement. And he said while he lived in this basement that him and his brother used to fight all the time, and that's how he would let out all of his anger from all this bullying. He would take it out on his brother and probably his mom a little bit too. And he says he moved schools again, and at this school is when the cyberbullying started to take off. He said he liked this girl. I'm not going to say the name, but he said he did like this girl, and he tried to ask her out without even meeting her yet, and she kept on saying no and no. So then eventually she started to bully him, and he said it got to the point where he started to cut himself. And now anytime I see this in a message, anytime I see a kid saying about how he inflicted pain upon himself, or he wants to, or he has, it's just instantly, it strikes me that these kids need help. They need our support, and so leave all your support for Matt in the comment section below right now, telling him about how much of an amazing kid he is, and he does not deserve any of this that's been put upon him. None of it's been his fault. It's always been at a young age, other people affecting him, and just his parents getting divorced at the age that he was at. Just leave all your support for Matt in the comment section below right now. Matt later goes on to say that he asked out another girl, and she was very nice to him. She was, cool about it. But then once she gets to school, all these people are just laying down on her, like, why are you going out with this guy? I'm sure she felt horrible about it. So she started to bully Matt and tell him he should kill himself, which is, I don't understand how can you say that to somebody? How can you go to somebody and say you should kill yourself? What drives you to say that? If I said that to a kid, it would haunt me for the rest of my life. I could never say that to somebody. And he ends up the message saying he's actually started to gain weight since he started being bullied, because he would just stay in his room all day and just eat and not want to talk to anybody. And that was his message that I got from him. That was his entire message. Again, I had to leave a lot of it out because it was a very long message. And so there will always be a link to the message in the description box below. But that's been Bullied Stories, guys. If you've ever been bullied yourself, or you know somebody who's been bullied, please submit me a message directly on YouTube, or if you want to, you can leave it in the comment section below. But my name is Lipstick, and I'm out. Peace.